Okay, my name Olga or Francheska. Today, April 23rd, I was reporting some of my Streptocarpus, and I noticed that I have many different kinds of pots. Sorry, it's not pots, it's just drinking cups or serving cups. I noticed that I don't have any pots which would be specially manufactured for plants. So I decided to make a little video about it and make a couple of points. When I start to grow Streptocarpus, I've read a lot that Streptocarpus should be grown in azalea type pots. What does it mean? It means that it's pretty shallow pots with a lot of holes, and usually the diameter of the pots are equal heights of the pot. So, and in the beginning I was trying to find pots commercially available for Streptocarpus, and then I find that I could not, when I report my plants, I didn't have a lot of options. So I started to buy a lot of just cups, and now I'm going to share results of my 1.5–2 years experiments. So I have first two kinds of plant containers. Let's call them plant containers. One of them made of styrofoam. I have half of them styrofoam and another plastic. Let me first show how easy to make holes in a styrofoam. I used, Marco, please show that. I use a lobster fork. So what I do, I just punch holes here. That's it. 2–3 times, and that's it. Very easy. For plastic pots, like everybody, I use just scissors. I cut few holes, and I find no difference when holes are small, big, 3, 4, 5 holes. So it's very easy to do holes. Now, pros and cons. Styrofoam cups are very, very cheap, just few cents per container, and you could buy them. I buy a lot through Gordon Food Supply store or online through them, from eBay, bulk or small packages, and but they are not transparent, but very cheap. Plastic one, slightly more expensive, but also very, very cheap. And I like the one which are completely clear, like this one. Why do I like them? Because it's very important, especially for people who start to grow Streptocarpus, observe how the plant develop, not only by looking at the leaves, but also at the roots. Roots very often are could be main problems. So it's very easy to see where the roots are growing or not, having clear plastic pots. Actually, when they're not clear, just like that, you still could see that. So my first conclusion: my plants grow perfectly in all type of that pots. Then let's return to azalea questions. I did not find any difference when I grow Streptocarpus in very narrow pots like that, or very shallow ones like azalea pots like that. No difference. And the experiment was repeated many times. So I started to think why everybody thinks that it's necessary to buy shallow pots. And here's my theory. I might be wrong. When people started to grow Streptocarpus, maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, good soil was not available. And people put Streptocarpus to very heavy soil. And in this case, shallow pots would provide better air circulation for roots to get air. So now, when good soil is available, I think it absolutely does not matter in what pot, as long as not clay pot, your Streptocarpus is growing. Let me show you just a few examples. For example, like look at this plant. You see, very narrow pot, beautiful roots, big healthy plant. Let me show another one. The same one. The larger pot, also small clear plastic pot. Height larger than upper diameter. Let's look at this huge plant. Also very narrow plastic pots. Does not matter. Okay. So conclusion, Streptocarpuses do not need azalea pots unless you use maybe clay or humus as a soil. And it's let's think about it. When I never use, so I water my plants always on top. I don't use weak watering. I don't use mat watering. I don't use ayama pots. I only use just normal watering. But people do use weak watering with Streptocarpus, and it's only appear to be possible when soil is really fluffy and airy. So, and as we know, Streptocarpus are like lithophytes, so they grow among stones. They're able to produce long roots in between stones, and the same they could do in very narrow pot like that, as long as soil is very porous and airy. So, and when people weak watering, they actually indeed could use any type of pots, because a little wick provide constant water supply. Okay, this is my first point, azalea pot. Second point, variety of the pots I have, actually I did not present all of them, provide a lot of opportunity during repotting. Let's imagine, let's look at this one, that everybody knows, a 3OZ solo cup. And like sometimes if you're growing really strong, large hybrid, you might report it, for example, to this one. And if you see that roots are not developed well, you might need to report to this one. Or you see that root ball are maybe quite shallow, you put it here. Or they very long roots, so you'll use this one. And I found it very economical and very practical to have such a variety. As I said, that again, I don't put all of them, very cheap pots. Let me see, did I say everything I wanted? I guess I did. Maybe I have to, I don't know, Mark, did you show here? I put, the first letter is ounces, and then upper diameter is here, and then lower diameter here. Then another one, 12 ounces for upper diameter, 2.5 lower diameter. This is one is a 16 ounces, 4.5 and 3.5. This one is one of my favorite. I always buy it in a Gordon Food Supply. 9 ounces, 3.5 upper diameter and 2.25 low diameter. This is 7 OZ, and you see the diameter here. I want to emphasize this one. This is made from compostable plastic. It's a company called World Centric. I will put it on my website, on my forum, that people could buy it. I bought it as a bulk, so I really like to save planets as I could. So, and like the next one is a 5 OZ. This is diameter. Then this longer one, also 5 OZ, but another diameter. This one, I said there is no difference how Streptocarpus grow in different pots, but actually there is one difference. When I put it to azalea type pots, the evaporation actually, since surface area is larger, evaporation is quite more than from narrow pots, so you have to water it more often. And when people use hard water, very often salt accumulated more in azalea type pot. So when I use this kind of pot, I mostly use it for 2-3 babies, but not for plants. So I prefer not to use azalea type pots. And this time usually I used like this 4 ounces pot with this diameter after solar, but as I said, I have a lot of variation. And I guess that is it. I hope maybe I help somebody, and if you have question, please ask question on forum or through Facebook. I will be glad to answer everybody who interested. Thank you.